So what actually happened when we look back in the immediate aftermath of Loving versus Virginia took, we could say, two tracks. Cases already in the courts in June 1967 went a very different direction than they almost surely would have in the absence of Loving versus Virginia. One of these was a case in federal court in Oklahoma. A federal case in Delaware, where a mixed-race couple had gone to get a marriage license just a few months earlier. And within weeks of the Loving ruling, the federal court issues its decision. In light of Loving, how can there be any other right? Delaware statutory law no longer holds. It's been overridden by the Supreme Court of the United States of America. So the couple gets its license, and I meant, before I came over here, I was thinking as I drove across the Blue Ridge, I should have looked them up. I wanted to see, are they still happily married? But I can't tell you that part. The other case comes from Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma is a southern state. How do I know that? Because they had a law against interracial marriage as late as 1967. That's one way I know this. Well, there the case wasn't criminal law either. There the case had to do with dying in the absence of a will, leaving property behind. It gets contested because some member of the family says that you had no valid marriage to begin with, so how could anybody inherit under it, right? Very soon thereafter, the state Supreme Court of Oklahoma rules in precisely the way that it never had in all the history of Oklahoma. It overrides all previous, says, of course, race has nothing to do whether this was a valid marriage. Of course, the property can be inherited under it. Case closed. Okay, so here we have two cases already in the courts, neither one of them criminal. Had the reach of the Loving versus Virginia ruling gone only to criminal law, these cases would not have been affected, but they were in fact deflected in a radically different direction and had exactly the opposite outcome of what they would have had Loving versus Virginia not been handed down the way it was, and in fact not been handed down when it was.